was trying to say is the dragon species, as the Camusa, was known for the species' acknowledgement of knowledge of history and victimization. They used to take and use liberations called the Kiribata La Ki trick to birth these dragons. So because of the Kitabolotoko Kika spell, I was able to Kolonokapoy it to life again, birthing 555 million species of Kiamatas. Kiamatas are well-known demons in hell that birth the society of commotions. Commotions are things like beings and knowledge and species and vibrations and skills that you can't even think of coming out of the ground. Because of the Kamasa, we were able to vibrate different vibrations of life and choices, making the commotion of motions and sicknesses and health too. On top of that, see, they thought it was bad illnesses being sent. They get it confused and realize that the truth is they're sending up sicknesses by accident because they're trying to do komotas, which are healers. When healers come in, they usually heal the body and bring elements of surprise, which is skills of tranquility and peace. But because of their commotion of their disruption of hell being disturbing their death, they were equalized incorrectly in life and caused sicknesses when they were supposed to make healings, which are commotions of delirations and stuff. See, a lot of times dragons usually come with illnesses because they have a victimization in their system, and the cure that is a Tokorotokomoto spell, which cures out all the evil intent inside their bodies and restarts their chemical reaction of their body vibration because their vibration is made out of a chemical called the kapusa. The spell casts a negation, which is a deflammation of reality. It's called an illness of fractionization. How to explain? Different commotions in life, different reactions in life. It shows abuse, attacks, and neglect because they didn't come out accurately. They came out with commotion of abuse rather than coming out with explicitity of health and reasons to live. They were given the incorrect emotion. Their emotion is the center of their placia. Their placia is the lukuro in the middle. The lukuro can be fixed by accurately fixing the kapata key in the center of their palm. In their palm, they have a kusano, which blesses the world with narration or vibration, and halorations and discolorations in reality. See, all it shows is the commotion of abuse right now because of the negativity coming from that person yelling behind the background. That person just disturbed the peace of a dragon. It ticked them off. They're really not in the mood to listen to them. So they got really, really mad with obliterations and stuff. Considering how people get ignorant sometimes, they show abuse and want to use vibrations of words that they hate. If they have a hatred towards somebody, they'll start to vibrate a negativity rather than a positivity. So what I'm trying to do is create a positivity, which is kapiatas. Kapiatas are known as blissful, happy people who show light and premonition. To show light and premonition, you would have to bring a kusa nimana to life, which is a blessing in disguise, meaning they want to do kumusa nimanas for dragons, which is obliteration for their beings because they're usually negative and abusive. See, the only reason they're being negative and abusive is because they're not used to the society of clarity. See, back in the old days, dragons used to practice meditation for years and had good commotions and curations and stuff. They had like follow-up, which is Kosodoko. Kosodoko was known for dragon blessings. See, he blessed the world with the finger of tranquility. He had the tranquility in his finger, making peace and tranquility with the dragons of peace. See, it took a while to understand the dragon of peace for him because he was in negativity for so long in hell, being turmoiled. So his way of learning was to be at peace and tranquility when the goddess of love showed him peace. He called her a goddess of love when she was just a being of disguise. She would disguise herself as many beings, they said. She was able to disguise herself as a vibrant woman to a hilarious funny girl, and they loved her so much that they blessed her with the tranquility of peace and happily ever after. And they wanted her so happy that they went out in the world to do exactly what she asked them to do. They went from neighbor to neighbor to peacefully tranquilize the world, showing peace and tranquility of peaceful moments. And they come around every so often to talk to the blessing of all mankind. And they would find a whole bunch of other people talking to the blessing and being wondering what's going on. They would being peaceful people just to talk to this person anytime that they could, finding out that they were not just the peaceful one, but they were with the peaceful ones and disguised themselves so much that she didn't even know she was the billionaire of the mansion that died centuries ago. See, she had the billionaire's mindset. She had billionaire mindset and billionaire mindset. That her mind was set up to be peaceful and tranquil forever and ever, and never to look for dirty, disgusting people like Neanderthals, which were the bad ones. Back then, they were considered the bad ones, but then there are some that may not have been as bad as they thought. It was just a name in France that they used to call certain people with ignorance and bliss inside them. See, they would not be the looks of people, it would be the actions of people. They would disguise them and call them names because they would sit here and talk like trash to people and not care in the world about anybody but themselves. They were very selfish people, selfish minded, and very abusive in their mind. They sat there all the time just treating people like trash. In their mind, they would think belligerent thoughts like, I'm gonna cut somebody, I'm gonna hurt somebody, I'm gonna beat on them, is what they would say in their head. While all the time, the person wasn't doing nothing wrong to them. They would just keep saying hateful, hurtful things in their head, and you couldn't even fathom a reason why they would say such insulting words. They would just think the weirdest things at the moment's notice, too, like their brain power was juiced up on negativity instead of positivity. They would be so negative in their mind, saying hateful, hurtful things, they could never be such a nice person in their life. You would look to the next person's mind and you would see a skillful minded person who cared and centered their mind on helping the world. And those were the peaceful people that left peace and tranquility in the mind of other people. They would bring happiness to everybody. They wouldn't have no ignorance whatsoever or bliss in their brain. They wouldn't be full of it. See, believe it or not, those people, they came from hell originally. Because, see, in hell, you were tranced. The way you were born is the way you were sent into the world. You would be the person that you were when you were born in hell, you would be in light because you reborn yourself from negativity instead of positivity. You had declarations of explorations in your brain cells that made you quantum physically experts that did not have skills whatsoever to having skills forever. It was like a part of the brain that the spirits would build on themselves and they would not know, even if they're born with that negativity, all that negativity, they still tried to be human society, but they would be quantumly physically broken to a spirit broken spell. The way their mind was when they were spirits was the way they get born in society because their brain cells are conceiving a certain way, an aspect that teaches them to keep treating people the way they treat them. It's a way in the mind that you are born. You are born with these traits, and they're not necessarily your fault. It's just the way your spirit conceived things when you were conceiving. See, before you were born in your womb, you were taught to be a certain way, and you didn't even know it. Your mind was gathering information before you were even thought of. And see, 2,555 billion species out there is eggs and chickens right now because they kept birthing under rocks rather than through society. See, when they get born through rocks, they go straight to the chicken coop. See, when chickens are conceived, it goes to the rocks. And when the rocks go to the chickens are conceiving the humans. See, or the species, the spirits. See, you can be born anywhere. Wherever you're picked up at, but your spirit is collected, is where your spirit is going to collect to being something. See, there's so many spirits in the world that we don't even know half of them where they come from. And their insides are made with colossos, which is a spell casting ability that kisanamoes your body to birth. In order for you to be born, you would have to have kisanama in your system, which is a blessing skill, to birth you into reality. To birth you in reality, you would have to kisakamo yourself and then kolosa to pa, birthing canal to birthing canal. In order to shoot up to birth, you would have to go through the viata, which is the fruition, and to do that, you would have to go in through the bottom part of the male and inside the middle. And then right there at the pinata, you would find a little spot. And that's where you go at to conceive yourself. And then that Komosa would blow you up belligerently, and then you would just pop out and be born after so long of being in the male. It could be a chicken, it could be a rooster, it could be a dragon, it could be anything. Anything you can find yourself to is what you'll be birthed as. Dragons are especially created too. Dragons are usually in layers of kolutos, which is rocks and stuff. Believe it or not, there are tons of dragons still left. There's little ones and there's the big ones. Now, to get the big dragons, you would have to go to Koloda Spa, which is a dragon lair, and you would have to have your species disintegrate there. And then when they disintegrate there, they just pop up and birth into reality of a dragon. See, there's ways you could be dragons, but you would have to kumsa yourself there. Means off yourself to die. You would have to have poisoned or something. I don't know how you explain it, but basically, you would have to accelerate yourself. You know what that means. Everybody knows what accelerate yourself means, right? So, if you want to do that, you have to do it that way in order to conceive yourself to be born again. But you don't want to do that. You want it to happen naturally. If you wanted to do it naturally, you get a little cave and you bury yourself in a cave for the rest of your life and just pass over at old age. And then you would become the Camusa itself, which is a pretty cool trick. To switch over from one to another, you would have to be there during the cycle of the birth. You could probably be there forever waiting for the birth too. It's hard to do it because you have to be in the Camosa spot, which is a very hard blessing spot too. You have to go in and out to the Pokola, which it works great because that's the best way you could do it spiritually too. A lot of people speak French and Italian and Vietnamese in order to even conceive blessings in the skies. Your mind already knows it when you pass over because when you pass over, your brain right here goes in the Camosa state, which is your blessing skills, meaning when you pass over, you speak French, Italian, Vietnamese. That's what Camosa does. Pretty cool.